platforms, featuring a series of partner events which will highlight your favorite products, manufacturers, artists, and more. Join us every day at 2:00 p.m. from November 1st through December 20th for exciting interviews, live audience Q&As, and a chance to win special prizes. Head over to the Fishman YouTube channel now to subscribe and set your notifications so you don't miss out on any of these events. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is the Fishman Partnership Series, and I am your host, as usual, Ken Susi. I am here again to highlight one of another great partnership that we have with another great company. Today, we have Schecter guitars on the line, but not only do we have Schecter, we have Keith Merrow, who also has a signature series Fluence humbucker and a signature guitar with Schecter. So you're going to learn a lot about Schecter guitars today and their relationship together, and how they made amazing Keith Merrow models for all these years that some of you may own. So if you're watching currently on the Schecter Facebook, Schecter was nice enough to let us use their stream today and broadcast on their Facebook page. And for those of you that are on the Fishman Facebook and Twitch account, head over to Schecter, like and subscribe to their pages. But also, if you're on the other side, you're on Schecter and you want to like and subscribe to our partnership series and our Facebook, YouTube, click like and subscribe, set your notifications. We do give away stuff free here on the channel. So stay alert. Maybe we'll give something away sometime soon. But again, if you have any questions about Fishman products, head over to www.fishman.com. As you can see, we make acoustic, electric, MIDI, amplification. We have a lot of great products. We have a support page. We have news that pops up. All of our artists are on there. Most importantly, we have Keith Merrow on our page too as well. So that's cool. So again, let me say hi to our co-host, Mr. Rob Ketch.
Hey Ken, how are you today?
I'm living the dream. So guys, I am this for the second time in a row this week. Oh, real quick. Before I announce everybody who's on this stream, we have everyone popping in saying hello. I'm flashing some of these on the screen. So hello, everyone. Hello, Baked Potato. Again, we want you to be a part of our conversation. We want you to ask questions. We want you to just step in and say cool things and just keep talking. We will post your questions and your comments on the screen as we go. And yeah, it's just this has been great. Just like Shane's writing right now, Schecter rocks almost as hard as Fishman. I'm gonna say it's equal. So guys, I'm gonna go to a 4 screen right now. We have Rob Ketch in the corner over here. We have Jake Handler, Colin Alflen, and Mr. Keith Merrow in his disco. And how you guys all doing today?
Doing all right.
I'm great, man. Things are good, you know.
Nice, nice. Well, hey, we're going to jump right into this because we don't have that much time. So let's go over to Keith.
Hello.
And
how's
Keith.
Everybody doing?
There we go. Keith, so tell us a little bit about your musical history, because I know you've been in the scene for such a long time. You and I met years ago at the Worcester Palladium when you were playing a bunch of live shows. Just talk about your musical career, what bands you've been in, what is it that you've done in the past?
Sure. Well, I guess we'll do the fast track version. I started out putting music on YouTube sometime around, I think, 2008, 2009 maybe. And then I had a little bit of success on there, and it grew into bigger and better projects. Went on to do some solo albums, and then I did Conquering Dystopia with some good friends, Jeff Loomis, Alex Webster, and Alex Rudinger. I've also done Alluvial with Wes Houck, and a variety of other projects, small projects. I just try to keep busy at all times. But currently today, what I'm doing is hanging out, getting more used to doing live streaming, I guess you could say. Like, I've converted the studio over to doing live streaming so I can do this sort of thing on my own as well. And I'm having a blast. So, you know, it's kind of a long story to go from beginning to end, because it's been a minute. But I'm here today, and we have these guitars and we have these pickups.
Nice. Nice.
If you want to go into my history,
yeah,
I would say a good thing to do would be to I'm going to be talking about that stuff a lot on my personal Twitch channel. So if anyone wants, is interested in my story at all, feel free to follow Merrow Official on Twitch, and maybe you can answer some questions by following that.
Yeah, right before we jump into the guitars and stuff, and Valeria's writing right now, Keith, your studio looks fire, so she's totally into your studio. But let me ask you this question. When can people expect you to jump on your Twitch? Because I know you're really pushing your Twitch channel right now. Obviously, you just mentioned where they can find you, but how often are you going live?
I'm trying to do at least 3 days a week right now. I'm actually going to be going live right after this stream, so I'm going to be playing some songs. I'm going to be doing, kind of a continuation of what we're doing here. So on this stream, it was more of just we're going to do some Q&A, hang out. I was going to change some strings on this while we chat, and after the stream, I'll jump on my Mero official channel and play some music. It'll be fun.
Nice. So that leads us into Schecter guitars. I mean, they're here today. I just want to talk a little bit about your history because you found Schecter much sooner than you did Fishman. So talk about Schecter guitars in general. What is it about Schecter guitars that made you just kind of like want to move over to working with them? And what is it about their guitars that you fell in love with?
Sure. Well, I first got introduced to Schecter through Jeff Loomis when we were doing the Conquering Dystopia album. Uh, I was basically playing at the time, I was kind of playing whatever I wanted, just like custom guitars or, just whatever guitar I liked at the time. I wasn't really tied to anything in particular. And I remember playing on some of Jeff's guitars at the time thinking, yeah, these are pretty sweet. They sound cool. And of course, Jeff made them sound amazing. So, Schecter was like, "Hey, you know what? We have a couple guitars that we think you might like and might be more your speed." Because prior to that, my experience with Schecter was, maybe some of their older models that were, tailored for maybe a different type of player than I am. So they sent me over the SLS C7, the older SLS C7, and it had a real thin neck on it, real thin body on it, and it played amazing, especially for what it was. It was an import guitar. It wasn't very expensive, and it was just an off-the-shelf production model. And I really liked the way it played and sounded. I really liked the neck on it. It was a nice, thin, fast neck. And basically, at that point, I was kind of like, okay, well, let's use it for a couple tracks on the record or something. And throughout the process of all that in our communication, they offered me the signature model, which I was happy to do. And we designed some pretty kick-ass guitars over the years together. Colin, who's here on the stream on the Schecter side, was instrumental in helping design the guitars and make those things come to life. So I'd love to hear from him as well. But we're on the third iteration of the KM guitar now. We're on the Mark III, and we've had multiple models over the years. But when we started out with that first Mark I model, it was basically like I kind of built my dream version of an awesome Schecter guitar. And a lot of people happened to also share those same sentiments, and the guitar was a huge success, which, afforded me a lot of opportunities to expand within the industry and go out and play my music places that I've never been. And Schecter over the years has become more like family in a lot of ways. Like, I mean, the way that we communicate is like brothers most of the time. It's like very not PC. So basically our partnership over the years has let us travel around the world together, doing fun stuff, playing fun music, making cool guitars. And it's a dream come true. So that's where I'm sitting at today with Schecter. And I have in front of me right here, I have one of the USA models. I was just getting ready to change the strings on it. Not very well taken care of. It's got all kinds of dings and scratches. But you know what? I play these and they get dings and scratches just like I do.
There's nothing wrong with that. My guitars at home are definitely all dinged up. And
Oh, I know. I've seen them.
Exactly.
Your guitars have more than dust and scratches on them, though.
Right,
That's
right.
the thing.
I eat off of them. I sleep with them. It doesn't even. It is what it is. But
Yeah.
Mike popped in here and he's right. Thank you, Keith, for the solid recommendation on the Hybrid 7. I love it, and the pickups are sick. So he must be following your stream. And
Nice.
we have another guest that popped in and said, Keith, what's your Twitch again? I missed it. Keep it savage, young man.
It is just twitch.tv/Mero official. Just Mero official.
Yeah, if you want to see
MERROW official.
right, if you want to see some super shredding, that's where to go. Late night. So
Super biffing.
So Keith, obviously, you've been in the music industry, even, playing a guitar, but you've also been behind kind of the desk to a certain degree too, as well. So, what was it? When did you find Fishman? What led you there? And what was your first, what did you think of Fishman when you first started trying the Fluence pickups?
Right. So I'd started hearing about the technology of these pickups before I actually heard the pickups, and I was intrigued. But really, it was Tosin had a lot to do with kind of just uh, stoking my interest, I guess you could say, in the Fishman stuff. And Frank Falbo, of course, was a big part of it. He retrofitted some of my guitars with Fishman pickups, just various models to try out. And I went out and did a tour with Fishman pickups. I did an alluvial tour. Went out with animals and did a tour there. Got to kind of road test Fishman pickups for the first time, and I loved them. I thought they were really they cut through the mix really well, in a live scenario, and they were just really satisfying to play, like dynamic response wise. Uh, but it wasn't really until I was able to get super detailed and nerdy with it when I truly fell in love with the Fishman stuff. It's basically like if you're able to voice a pickup, in real time the way that Fishman does, you're able to arrive at the result you're after so fast. And it's such a satisfying thing to just be like, yeah, that's it. There's nothing left to do. That's the sound I'm looking for. And let's go. You know what I mean? So the Fishman stuff is just, it's so much more streamlined in terms of the way the voicing process goes. There's not a whole lot of guesswork involved. It's like, this is how it works. This is the sound you're going to get, and this is how we're going to get there. And it's fun. It's fun to do that. So when I was able to do that with my own pickup, it didn't take very long, but of course, we split hairs with it and had fun trying different variations of it. And I think we're still kind of tweaking it a little bit, just kind of doing a little skunk work stuff, playing around with different, different ways to arrive at the same result, which is basically insanity, but that's what we're doing.
Exactly. Well, real quick too, before I play this up, I want to play the sample that you sent over to us. But what is it? What do your voicing sound like for the people that don't know anything about Fluence technology? What can your pickups do, and how do they sound?
Sure. Well, like this guitar, for example, unfortunately, we're not set up to do any kind of audio demos on this stream because it's over like an Ecamm thing. I have a gaming headset, whatever. But I can tell you what these functions actually do. So my low function here, that's like it's like a brown sound, I guess you could say. We kind of went for like a vintage 78 sort of voicing. So the pickup has 3 voicings. On the down position, we have the brown sound. We have my custom modern sound in the middle position, which is kind of like a little bit higher output, a little bit higher resonant peak. So you kind of hear all the way to the pick a little bit more, whereas the lower one's going to be a little bit more subdued, a little warmer, a little more classic sounding. Middle position is more aggressive. And then the top position is just a true single coil sound. So basically it negates one of the coils, and then you have a single coil sound, which is cool. So you get all that in one pickup.
Nice. Well, let's shoot over to a quick video of you performing on this particular guitar. I know. Nice. I have all the dirt on you. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you got all the good stuff.
Right. So let me pop this video up really quickly, and this is Keith Merrill playing his signature Schecter guitar. Rob, I'll go to the 4 screen and I'll let you take it. Actually, I'll just move you over with them.
Very cool. Got a chance to hear Keith do his thing on his signature model Schecter guitar. Speaking of Schecter, we're fortunate enough to have Jake and Colin here from Schecter today, noted guitar experts. And guys, I know you brought a few guitars today, which we're all very excited to see. But I think maybe you've got the guitar or a very similar guitar to what Keith used in the video. If you could share a little more detail on the current Keith Merrill lineup and some of the options that people have for the guitars. Keith had the beautiful USA custom shop model, but I know there's several different variants of the instrument available right now. So what is this gorgeous gray one we're looking at?
This particular one is Telesto Gray, and this is the hybrid Diamond Series model. So it's similar to Keith's, only it's an import version, and there are slightly less features, basically a simplified version of what Keith's got.
Nice. Boiled down to the essentials.
Yes, sir.
You know, the interesting thing is, though, is I've actually been using that model as one of my main guitars for the past month or so. That particular guitar, but a 7-string version of it. This is the one that I've been using. It's all dirty and like messed up. Like this is a workhorse. Like I love the USA guitars to death. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
they're finely tuned, finely crafted instruments, and these are as well. But the difference is you don't feel quite as guilty when you get a ding in this one. You know, because
Okay.
it didn't totally destroy your pocketbook. But I like it because it's this is a really light guitar, even compared to like the USA. The USA is a little heavier, and I prefer light guitars.
Got it.
And this specimen right here happens to be like, this is like a racehorse of a guitar. So I've been using them a lot. I love the hybrid models personally.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, it's great to see that all levels of the instrument are put through the paces in a professional situation. Having had my hands on a lot of the Schecter Diamond Series stuff, it's absolutely professional quality. And guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but all of the Diamond Series product, everything is detailed and very finely set up at Schecter USA before the world sees it. Isn't that correct?
Yep. That's correct.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Indeed.
Sorry, guys, I was muted for a second. The
Okay.
question is does the import model still have Fishman pickups?
This
It
model
does.
and the artist model do, yes.
Nice, nice.
Sure. Absolutely. No, that is killer stuff for sure. And I know we'll have more questions later on, and I'm sure we'll have some more questions for Keith. But Jake and Colin, while you guys are close to the guitar rack there, I did want to check in and see if there were some other instruments in the range that you wanted to speak about today.
And Keith's particular line?
If it's in Keith lines,
you have
or-
the artist model up there behind you on the wall. What's
Yeah.
the guitar?
Yeah,
what
we
are you
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
at?
it looks like there's an artist there.
Yeah, that looks sweet.
Yeah.
I personally don't have that finish
Right here.
Okay.
here at in my studio. So yeah, Colin, why don't you send that to me after, huh?
Personally,
Look at that thing. That's nice, dude. Woo. Yeah, so that's got a Wenge and Purple Heart neck, swamp ash body, burl maple top, ebony fretboard, hip shot Gibraltar style bridge, hip shot locking tuners with the barrel knobs, super clean.
Nice.
Yeah, that is great. I mean,
And
what's
that one there is like the the premium import model, I guess you could say.
yeah. No, it's killer, and it's very nice with all of the guitars that the aesthetic all holds together. You know, obviously the Artist Series has the beautiful woods, and I know some of your custom shop guitars do, but
Sure.
you know, even the painted guitars, the grays, the whites, and all the burled finishes, everything has a really tasty and cohesive look to it. It's
Nice.
good looking
Well, I
stuff.
appreciate that. Yeah,
Yeah,
hey,
man.
Ken, if you want to switch over to my camera here, I can actually show the prototype Mark III that artist guitar is based off of. Yeah, so if you look here, this is the very first Mark III guitar that was made. We designed the Mark III guitars in the USA custom shop, and we were able to actually handcraft them, and I was able to play it, feel it out, prototype it in the custom shop with the highest level of craftsmanship. And that was basically, this is the blueprint for what the Mark III was. So, it's a prototype. It's got, loose wires here and there, and no covers on the back, all that. But as you can see, this is basically the same guitar, different finish and whatnot. But this is what became the production model Mark III. So I just thought I'd show that.
Yes.
Pretty
Well,
smart.
there's a couple of questions popping up here too, and obviously we have the people to answer it. On that guitar, the one that you're holding, Colin, where's the truss rod adjustment?
So the truss rod is a spoke wheel truss rod. So it's right at the end of the fretboard here. So you can see it down here. The lighting's a little hard to see it, but
Yeah, you
makes it
hated me
really
when I
easy. You're
asked
not
that.
dealing with the truss rod. You don't have to get a tool in there.
Right, super
The
convenient.
headstock, it sits right at the end. Just take a little bar, quick adjustment, makes it nice and easy.
Nice. Mike is also asking, he's popping in saying, what kind of neck is the hybrid models? Because in the video, Keith says it's the same as the MK2 Artist, and the website says one-piece maple.
The construction is different. It is going to be a one-piece maple, different from the artist version, but the shape, the overall feel, it will be the same.
I think I think the misunderstanding there is that the profile, the neck profile,
Yeah.
like the actual dimensions of the neck, are from the Mark II. That's probably where that discrepancy is, or the misunderstanding. It's I don't think we said that the woods were the same. It's mainly just the neck profile. But yeah, it's just a maple neck, mahogany body on the hybrid series. That was kind of the point of that particular guitar, was to just kind of go back to like a traditional, original, shredder style guitar that maybe you'd find on like an old soloist or something. So that was kind of the vibe we were going for with the hybrid series. So it does have a one-piece maple neck, but the same neck profile as the Mark II.
Nice. I really like these questions that pop in here and there because it's going to push Schecter to do this. But is Schecter going to do any KM6 guitars in Lambo colors?
That's a good question.
I guess if I demand it, right? I'm like, make it happen, Colin. No, I would love to, actually. And believe it or not, this KM6 right here and this color that we have been talking about for the past 10 minutes is a Lamborghini color. So there you go. This is Lamborghini Telesto Gray. That's the color of this. So it's not a bright, flashy Lamborghini color, but it is a Lamborghini color. So there you go.
Yeah. That's actually a great point, because modern day Lamborghinis you'd see in most likely that color, and it looks sick. How does the string action affect the tone into the Fishman pickups? Keith, do you have an answer for that?
I found that it doesn't affect it in the same way that like a traditional wound pickup would. Usually with the Fishman pickups, it's like you find an optimal spot either by ear or, there is a scientific measurement I think Ken has there for the distance that you need or should have. But really, with the Fishman pickups, you kind of get them a little closer to the strings than you would with like a passive pickup, because, if you get them further away, it kind of acts a little bit differently. So there's like a sweet spot with them. We try to get them pretty close. Not too close, because then they start getting a little, hairy or picking up noises that you don't necessarily want in there. But yeah, I would say it doesn't affect the tone as much as it does on like a traditional style pickup. You kind of just set it in one spot and that's it.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Ken?
I would. Actually, this always comes up on forums on the internet, where to select your pickup height, where to put your pickup height. And what I usually do is I take a nickel, and you put it on the bridge, hold down the last two frets, and I kind of raise the pickup until it almost hits that nickel. Or some people use the 2 nickel method, but that's usually a sweet spot. And as far as the neck goes, I mean, I would always just kind of tune that by ear or adjust it by ear. The only way to really hear where you want your neck pickup is by playing it and adjusting it on the spot. So that's the way I would handle
it's
it.
really kind of hard to tell. I'll see if I can bounce an angle, but they're pretty close. They're not super far away. It's kind of hard to see that probably, but
No,
yeah,
you're lifted up
like
good. It's
with
good.
the caster pickups, I would bury those into the body more. just by default, because it takes a lot of like the ugly hair out of them, makes them a little bit more warmer, makes them a little more round sounding. Like that's what I would do with like a wound pickup, but with these, you don't really have to do that. You just set it and you're good.
That's awesome. Well, Matt Roberts is writing, and maybe Schecter can answer this. What is the body thickness like? Is it slimmer than the Diamond Series model?
On which guitar? On the Mark IIIs?
I'm assuming it's the Mark III.
Well, the body profile across all of the Mark IIIs are the same, whether they're USA or import. It's the same, same thickness. They're very thin guitars. At least they have the appearance of being very thin because of the way they're beveled. They're actually not as thin as you would think. It's just the shape of the body. It slopes down towards the ends and makes it a little bit more
nice, yeah.
Streamlined, thin, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a nice, comfortable spot to put your elbow.
It is, yeah.
Prevents
yeah,
tennis.
People had asked me about that. They were like, isn't it weird to not have like an armrest, But I don't think they noticed the body profile. It's actually...
Yeah, it's got a full arch on there, so it's nice and comfortable.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't bother my arm at all.
Right. Keeps Keith playing tennis on the weekends.
And something on the weekends. All right, so it's a little more of a obvious kind of, the lines on the artist model with the neck through. I think that's all these lines right here, like throughout the body. I did this with John Gaudesi in the USA Custom Shop, who's a legend. He's a luthier legend, and he got all this stuff. Like, I had the idea for the body and the lines and the shapes and everything, but he was the one who took it to the next level and got all this stuff like mathematically correct. You know what I mean? Like the radius of it actually makes sense, and the lines flow together in a very cohesive way. So, yeah, the team over there that made this particular guitar, the Mark III artist happen was insane. Like Colin over there, oh man, I think he hates me now.
Right. Colin, do you actually hate Keith Merrow? We're live.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Let's beef, dude. Let's beef,
No, honestly,
Colin, right now.
It's been a blessing working with him, because every design that he comes out with, the Mark I, the Mark II, the Mark III, each time it gets more challenging, and it really pushes me to step up to the next level in designing guitars or, producing these guitars. And I just want to go back to his custom shop that he was showing. The artist model, he decided he wanted to keep it, the same specs. It's pretty spot on to exactly what his custom shop is, minus
Which is insane.
The battery box. We switched it up. We put a battery box instead of the Fishman rechargeable battery. But other than that, it's the same wood selection, all the same profiles, same hardware, his custom pickups.
Yeah, it's just manufactured in a different spot. That's basically it.
Yeah. Well, we have another question rolling in too. Mert is asking, and Keith, I'll start this one. What's the difference between Fluence Moderns and Keith Merrow Customs in terms of sound? I would say the difference is everything, because the Fluence Moderns mainly has two voicings in it. One voicing is an active sound. The other one is a passive sound, but both of those have steel blades in them, where Keith's pickups are built significantly different. Keith, do you want to talk about how you built your pickups and how they differ? Because I know you're familiar with the Moderns.
Yeah, so my pickups are just fundamentally different in the fact that they're like an open core design, and they have solid poles rather than like blade magnets on the inside. So they're fundamentally different in many, many ways. But in terms of the technology, like the coil technology and the switching technology, all that is very similar. It's the same technology that you'd find on the Modern. It just has my voicings in there, and a little bit different style, on the actual pickup housing itself. But other than that, it's Fishman tech that's just voiced differently.
Cool.
I guess that's the best way I can answer that.
No, that's a great answer.
Yeah, they sound different for sure.
They do.
But if I was to compare them sonically, I would say that I always try to go for that really aggressive pick attack, like the kind that you hear all the way to the pick. You hear the scratchiness of it. You hear all that stuff.
Nice.
I want to hear the strings buzzing off the fretboard, you know. So like I like that kind of higher end detail stuff. The moderns are really well rounded in the fact that they give you like this nice spread of a tone. You know what I mean? Where there's
Right.
nothing that's like accentuated in such a way where it's like, ooh, that might be kind of bad in some situations. And I'm not saying that mine are going to be bad in some situations, but they probably are.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they're really modern, detailed, like high definition sounding pickups. And if you were to, you know, try to play like Telecaster cleans or jazz or something with them, you're going to need to put some pedals in there to warm it up a little bit or something, because it's
Right.
very unforgiving in that regard,
Right.
which lends itself to that, you know, fast, detailed kind of metal playing.
Right. Well, another thing is too, magnet-wise. I mean, there's steel blades in there, so it gives you a very even decay when when you hit the string, the attack, and the decay of it is very, very even. Whereas yours are pole pieces, so there's a small window on each string, so they go within, in and out of that window, which creates, I guess, I'd call it chaos.
It's a different feel. Yeah, it's also a little bit of a different feel, because if you bend out of that zone a little bit, it starts to sound a little different, and that's cool. Like I like that.
Right, right. Well, Trendkill's writing one more thing too. I want to put this on the screen, Keith. This is something you and I have been talking about a little bit. Any chance to obtain a Keith Merrow set with a metal cover, like you used with the KM7 MK3 prototype video? So yeah, that's cool.
That could be a Ken question, I guess.
I'm gonna say we're not gonna answer that question. We're not gonna do that right now. Maybe in the future, if you're lucky.
Wink at the camera and move on.
Yeah, if you ask Santa Claus, it may come. So there was a question in here about another guitar. I hope you guys don't mind answering this. I know it's not a Keith guitar, but are we going to see any new variations of the Sun Valley Super Shredder?
Oof, nice guitar right there.
So we are working on a new model, and it's going to be a Sun Valley Super Shredder exotic. So it'll be, it's going to have a black limbo body, and we're just going to basically put the top of the line parts in there. Floyd Rose 1500 series bridge. It's going to have a Wenge neck. We're putting our Schecter USA pickups in there, but it's going to be like top of the line Super Shredder style. And then we're actually branching off of the original Sun Valley Super Shredder line. We're adding 2 new colors of the Floyd Rose Sustainiac version. So you'll have those will be coming out here pretty soon. We'll do a couple of sneak peeks when we get those put together.
That Sustainiac is really fun.
Exactly, yeah.
No, super cool. Well, always something new and exciting happening at Schecter, no question. Guys, I know you were kind enough to bring a few more guitars with you today. That are some things that I believe are brand new. So, if you wouldn't mind, could we see a couple of more of the guitars that you've got? Love to dig into those and see what you guys have cooking.
Let's see here. Why don't we do these?
Okay.
Here you go, Colin. That one. Boom, check that out. This is a C8 multi-scale Evil Twin model with the new Fishman Fluence 9-string pickup.
Just in case if you guys didn't hear that correctly, it is a 9-string Fishman Fluence modern pickup.
So this works perfect for a multi-scale 8 where you have the pickup angled, so you get the steel blade across the full aperture of all the strings.
Okay. Yeah, that guitar is killer, Colin, and that's an SLS Elite Evil Twin guitar as well.
Yep.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, correct.
That's awesome. That's the first time I've ever seen one of our pickups on a guitar. The 9-string. That's great.
Fresh off the line.
Sound like? Does it make sound at the lowest note or not?
That's it. Just
Did you
Just
have to
moves the
specially
earth.
design that pickup to pick up low whatever?
Right. Nice. And what's the other guitar you're holding on to, Jake?
This is basically a response to a request we've had for some time to do a Sustainiac guitar that did not have a Floyd Rose on it. So this is one of our first. This is going to be an SLS Evil Twin hardtail with Sustainiac. So it's going to have a hip shot bridge on there, and of course a Fishman Fluence pickup in there. So it's a new thing that we're going to be offering. That has basically been a request people have had for a long time. So finally, we're gonna have that.
Dude, having the Sustainiac on a non-trem guitar is also a totally sick move. I have one right here in front of me. This is one of the old Mark 1s. Mark 1 guitars that has a Sustainiac pickup in it.
Yeah.
And for those who aren't familiar with what the Sustainiac is, basically it's like having an EBO, if you're familiar with an EBO, built into your guitar at all times that you can kind of turn on and off and change different feedback frequencies. So it's like having controlled feedback or infinite sustain. It's really cool to have with a trem because you can do a lot of weird bends that, notes that never stop ringing out basically. But to have that on a fixed bridge, I think is going to be pretty cool. Because this can get a little unruly sometimes, trying to manage the manage the sustainer with a trem. Like, it's a little tricky.
Awesome.
That's a great idea to have that on a hardtail.
Yeah.
Now, super cool guitars, and the two models that you gentlemen are holding, the SLS Evil Twin Sustainiac hardtail and the SLS Elite Evil Twin Multi-Scale 8. How soon are people going to be able to get their hands on those guitars?
So these are just going. They're just ordered, so we're probably looking at at least a five month turnaround. So I can only guesstimate. I would say like around April, May, somewhere around there.
Cool. Well, thank you for giving us the sneak peek. They're both killer guitars. And I think you gentlemen mentioned you actually have a couple more pieces today as well. If you wouldn't mind grabbing those, we'll cover those. Sure. Jump back into some questions, get some questions for Keith going. And
while they're pulling the guitars off the wall, we have a question coming in. Any ideas of making a modern with an open chord design? I have a Jackson Modern Ash, and I want to put moderns in it, but the direct mount won't allow me to. Okay, well, in your case, you could use a standard modern. Just to let you know, you could open up the holes in your guitar a little bit further to which are called being routed a little bit, but we strongly advise you to take it to a technician. But as far as your first question, have we thought about it? We totally have thought about it. So just letting you know. So back to Rob. And
go to town. That's what I do.
That's it.
So one other thing that we didn't show last time is I think we showed the Robert Smith RS1000 that had the Matrix preamp and piezo in it, and this is another model that we have from our Diamond series, and it's the Orleans Stage acoustic, and that has the Precis system in it as well. So that's another thing from Fishman that we're offering for our acoustics.
Nice. Very cool.
And
very cool
along
guitar.
with that, I think this is one we did show last time, but we just wanted to kind of really get people excited about it. It's the Silver Mountain bass that's going to have, of course, Fishman pickups in it. So it's another thing that's coming out fairly soon that we're really excited about.
Now that is great looking. And
Yeah,
Jake and Colin, can you tell us about that finish a little bit?
That's sick, dude.
So each one.
Yeah, let's see it.
And it's not no graphic. This thing is hand painted. Every single one is hand distressed. And basically what you do, you start off with a black base coat, and then you spray a metallic silver. And while it's still wet, you can take basically whatever kind of texture you want, but this is kind of more of like a saran wrap kind of texture. And what you do while the paint's wet, the silver, is you put the saran wrap on there and distress that finish while it's wet, let it dry, and then afterwards you can spray red, blue, and this one's the Toxic Venom, which is a green.
That is
so cool.
cool.
On the top. But every single one's going to be unique, and the full body, the neck, everything is painted in this awesome finish.
Is it just me, or am I the only guy that's just watching? Like, this is that paint job just makes me want to have like 5 guitars painted like that, and I'm just
Dude,
depressed that I don't have it.
right? I've actually never even seen that before. And where have
Right,
you
yeah.
been? You been sleeping on that one, Colin, or what? That is
Yeah.
insane, dude.
It's the future.
That looks awesome.
Yeah.
Now that is
Plus with the metallic just makes it pop, especially on
Just like,
stage.
yeah, and
with
just
the
like thinking
lighting.
about different color combinations that you could do with that, like that could be pretty sick.
Yeah,
Gold would be sweet.
it would look expensive for sure.
Yeah.
Gold.
Quick question that popped in here. The acoustic guitar looks great. Can you tell us what the acoustic is made of? What kind of woods? What is it made out of?
It's gonna have a maple back and sides, and then I believe the top is spruce. Correct.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a brighter. It's called the stage for that reason. It's going to project more. It has a brighter sound, so that it's going to pick up in a live setting. So you have a maple back and sides, nice figure too on these back and sides as well, and then a solid spruce top, which is kind of rare for an acoustic guitar for this price range. To have a nice solid top is definitely a cool feature.
Nice. And I believe we are getting a question right now. Which pickups are in the bass? I believe those are our standard Fishman. What is it? Soap bar, right?
Yep. Those are the soap bar bass in there. Colin, I had a question. I know you're holding up a 4-string model right there. Is it going to be 4 and 5, or are you going to just go forward with the 4 on those?
4 and 5 string. So
Awesome. Cool.
it's
Next question is,
Pretty-
when does it show up
pretty
at my
common.
house?
Keith wants all the guitars you're showing today,
Yeah.
just so you know.
He actually
Man,
Box
that
them all
bass,
up.
man, that bass is sweet. Like,
Yeah.
let me get that thing, Colin. I'll buy it off you right now.
I literally thought you left the screen to go wait at your front door to see if
Yes.
it just arrived.
I
Exactly.
did. Actually, you don't want to know what I did when I left the screen, but I did.
That's it. Keith was wiring the money to Schecter for the bass right now. Payment sent.
Right.
Awesome. That's great.
It's bulldozer 30. Anyone who knows what that means.
Does,
All right.
Jim Collins is asking, I know this may not pertain to this bass, but does Schecter make a fretless?
We do. We for the longest time we've been doing the Stiletto Studio fretless, and we also are doing a Session, which is discontinued. But we do make a fretless. Actually ran into the bass player for System of a Down. I was trying to get him excited about Schecter, and at the time we were only doing a 5-string fretless, and he wanted a 6-string fretless, and I thought that was the craziest thing. Eventually we ended up doing the Stiletto Studio 6-string fretless bass as well. So
That's out of my pay grade, but that's awesome. That's so good. That's so good.
Love that sandwich shop pay, buddy.
Let's see. What else do we got coming in here for questions? Ooh, this is good. Any plans on making a fan fret KM7?
Oh, dang.
what do you think, Keith?
You know,
Yeah.
hit me with that one, huh? You know, I like multi-scale guitars a bit, but I've owned a couple of them, and the benefits of it for me haven't really outweighed just using a standard guitar, I guess you could say. The cool thing about it is, you know, let's say you have like a 25.5-inch scale on the, you know, on your higher strings, and you have like 27 or something on your low strings. So you get all that tension of like a 27-inch scale on your lows, and all that like bendy fluidity on your higher end stuff. It's cool. It's cool for sure. But for most people, it's intimidating and excessive and a little bit unnecessary. And I mean, I would personally love it, but I don't know how you know, viable a multi-scale KM guitar would be. But we could definitely explore
Nice.
at
Nice.
some point.
Nice. We have someone actually popping in here, Colin, as you're holding that bass. I think you just made a sale because people are starting to save for that bass right now. Just so
Yeah,
you know.
that thing's awesome.
That's awesome. Ooh, I like
Definitely a
this.
shout out to the pickups. These things are a beautiful. But these things are, you got so many different tones you can do. It's got the Fishman 2-band EQ. So you got your bass and your treble. You got your 3-way switch. I think they can go into detail more of what each setting, but it also has volume push-pull. So if you want to get a single coil tone out of there, more of like a J traditional sound. So you basically have 4 different kind of sounds you can get out of this thing.
Yeah,
Pickup.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
have
the
those pickups in my main recording bass at the moment. I love them.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the 3 voicings are technically voice 1 is a vintage sound, voice 2 is a active sound, but then there's another voice 2 which we call mid contour, which is I believe the middle position on that 3-way switch, and that's like that scoopy funk slap bass kind of thing. Keith's gonna play some quick slap bass for us.
This is the model that I use for most of my recording. And what model is this, Colin? You know
looks
which
like
one
the
this is?
SLS Elite bass.
There you go, SLS Elite, another super nice Schecter bass, and with the new Fishman bass pickups in it, sounds huge.
So I'll show this on the screen a little bit, but that was actually a bass that you guys sent to us very early on. And I believe Ryan Bruce did a really great demo of this bass on his page, so it sounds amazing.
Indeed it does.
So Christopher's asking, I like this one, asking for a friend, Keith. Any chance of an Evertune KM7?
I don't know. We've gone back and forth. We've gone back and forth on worked a couple times on trying to get Evertune KM guitars into fruition, and I think we've just kind of arrived at the fact that maybe it just isn't needed for the KM guitar. Schecter has other guitars with Evertune bridges, and I would check those out. They might be more up to your speed.
Nice.
Banshee block.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I want to ask you one more question because we're pretty much out of time now, and the feed's been great. Everyone's just showing a lot of Schecter love. Baked Potatoes here, he's saying Schecter Elite bass, love that too. We got people just with money signs and their tongues out. It's great. So, so let me ask you one more parting question. Obviously, 2020 has been such a unique year. What has this year kind of taught Schecter as a company and Keith as an artist? I mean, what has this year taught you?
You want me to start, or
Go ahead.
are you guys going to take that, Schecter?
Yeah.
I'll tell you that 2020 for me has been a very interesting year. You know, a lot of plans got canceled. I'm sure you're in the same boat, Ken. You know, it's everyone got kind of derailed unexpectedly, but I'm actually having a lot of fun this year, just sort of adapting to it, because I've had to be at home a lot, more than I've been home in years. And as a result, I've spent a lot of time just kind of setting up my studio for live streaming and just kind of getting more interactive with it. And it's been a blast. It's actually been a very positive thing, you know, that I've been stuck at home for such a long time, because it's enabling me to kind of do a little bit different work, and work that I've never done before and that I enjoy. So I'm kind of okay with the way things are at the moment, you know, despite the state of the world. But me personally, I'm doing good, and I'm adapting and having a great time.
That's awesome, Keith. And Schecter, how about you?
So on the production side, it's been a nightmare, I won't lie. As the shutdowns happened, you know, it causes delays to, you know, the manufacturing side of it, getting the parts and supplies. But it is encouraging to see artists out there doing these live stream videos. I was able to see Glor on Halloween. They did their 30th anniversary, and just
awesome,
kind of brought people to the set, you know, through the live stream. You know, people are trying to be original and come up with a new way to engage with people, you know, because you can't tour, you can't play gigs, and people are finding new ways to reach out. And it's cool and encouraging to see that kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
Couldn't
That's
agree
awesome.
more.
Yeah. So, guys, this has been great. Unfortunately, we're out of time, and I just wanted to say again, this is your second time here on the partnership series, Jake and Colin. Thank you so much again for just giving us your time, and especially like the fact that you were showing us new product today is absolutely amazing, and it's so good for everybody's viewers to just kind of see what you got going on. So on behalf of Fishman, I'd like to thank you. Rob, do you want to say anything?
No, I just want to say thank you and goodbye, Jake and Colin. Really appreciate the partnership. Yeah, thanks for showing us the kick-ass guitars. Keith, it's great to see you, and thanks for telling us all about your instruments.
It's great to hear all your guys' voices, to be honest. I haven't seen any of your faces in, well over a year now.
It's been a while.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
Definitely, Keith.
Okay.
And Keith, obviously, you know, as the artist relations guy, it's a pleasure working with you always, and we're going to be doing, you know, a lot of interesting things in the future. So thank you very much again.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to lead us out. So guys, just hang tight real quick. But guys, again, this was the Fishman Partnership Series. I'm your host, Ken Susi. Today we had Schecter and Keith Merrow here on the stream. And again, this partnership series is showing you the great relationships that we have with our partners and our artists. And you get to learn a whole lot of information about, you know, guitars, basses, new paint jobs. In this case, Keith Merrow's stringing up a guitar. You get to see his studio. Absolutely amazing. Nowhere else can you find this kind of content where, you know, you're really digging in deep and you guys get to also jump in and ask questions. Again, I'd like to thank everybody that popped in and that is thanking Schecter right now on the screen. It's just really, it's great to see you guys all show love on this page. So again, we're going to be back here again tomorrow, so feel free to stop by. Again, this is the Fishman Partnership Series.